goddamn grocery store with the goddamn shit folded over and he doing a back bend like he in the goddamn gymnastics already. I don't like none of them. Kylie's first baby daddy, a husband, none of them raggedy. They couldn't even lift up more weights than me. I don't know why my kids out here running around with these goddamn weirdo no. Then I'm the problem. I'm not the problem.
Buckle up, because this story didn't just fall out of the internet, it detonated like a scandal grenade. Blueface's mom, Karlissa, has once again tossed gasoline into the gossip furnace, whispers suggesting that baby JR's little quirks and health questions might not be random at all, but allegedly tied to Chrisean's so-called hidden lifestyle. And when I say the internet is chewing this up, I mean it looks like TMZ and Zeus had a baby inside a rumor factory. Because the theories are multiplying faster than Kardashians get spin-offs, screenshots, subliminals, and eyebrow-raising clips are being treated like evidence files in a federal investigation. Karlissa's claims aren't being spoken like soft opinions, they're being hurled like verbal smoke bombs, wrapped in sarcasm and coated with shades so thick you could spread it on toast. And whether you think this is a desperate stretch, a mother's instinct, or the juiciest headline since Hollywood found the word exposed, the tension is hotter than a reunion episode gone nuclear. Because if even a fraction of these online whispers carry truth, then this isn't just messy. It's a full-blown narrative earthquake. So grab your popcorn, hide your shock, and breathe slow. Karlissa just cracked the door open on something the internet is dying to decode. The controversy didn't start on the night Karlissa's claim hit the internet, it started weeks before, when eagle-eyed fans noticed a string of side comments, eyebrow raises, and cryptic posts floating around like digital smoke signals. People who followed this family saga long enough know one thing: Karlissa never drops a bomb without first lighting the fuse. And this latest allegation, the one swirling around baby JR's health and Chrisean's lifestyle, felt less like a slip-up and more like a carefully aimed dart. She didn't say it like truth, she said it like suspicion sharpened by frustration. And the internet treated it like breaking news from an undercover informant. Screenshots of her live snippets, clipped down to the most eyebrow-lifting seconds, spread faster than any official announcement ever could. Something ain't right with that baby, and y'all know why. One alleged quote circulated. Comment sections fill the blanks in themselves, because that's what the internet does best. Take implication and inflate it like a scandal balloon. Chrisean's hidden habits, whatever those were supposed to mean, instantly became the center of a wildfire of assumptions. No doctor statements, no confirmed reports, just crowd-built theories and rumor mill imagination hungry for drama. Karlissa has always played the role of the blunt narrator, throwing shade like it's confetti and letting people connect their own dots. And this time, she didn't even need a full sentence, just the suggestion, the implication, the "I said what I said, figure the rest out yourselves" tone. When the internet hears that kind of energy, it doesn't walk, it sprints toward chaos. And overnight, the narrative turned into detective trenches, with strangers pulling clips of Chrisean's past, stacking them up like courtroom exhibits, and saying, "She's hinting at this, nothing was proven." But speculation became the oxygen. Blueface's fans split in half instantly. Some said Karlissa was simply overprotective, reading too much into typical infant quirks. Others insisted she wasn't pulling claims out of thin air, and that mothers always sense things first. Then came the group that feeds social media's darkest side, the conspiracy crowd. The people who think every raised eyebrow is an encrypted warning from the universe. They argued that if Junior ever looked tired, or restless, or fussy in a video, that must have been the sign. They called themselves analysts. But this was less science and more gossip dressed in a lab coat. And the sparks only kept flying. Chrisean's old live streams resurfaced. People clipped moments where she talked about partying, staying up late, hitting the club, eating anything she wanted while pregnant. Not medical references, just lifestyle choices that online critics twisted into evidence, allegedly. Every chaotic moment of Chrisean's timeline began getting stitched into the theory that Karlissa's comments were coded warnings. You'll remember that one night she was outside at 3 a.m.? That's probably what Karlissa meant. No. Look at this clip. She looks stressed. Maybe that's part of it. Entire timelines turned into wild. Guest-threads. Commenters took one vague insinuation and turned it into a full dissertation. JR's condition, a phrase whispered on cameras with zero confirmed meaning, became the fixation. No one could describe exactly what that condition allegedly was. No verified doctor report. No diagnosis. No clear detail from Karlissa herself. Just a swirling cloud of assumed meaning built on clips, tone, and that sarcastic mother from the sidelines energy Karlissa has perfected. It's the kind of allegation that doesn't need specifics. It survives on vibe, suggestion, and the hunger of an audience that treats celebrity lives like interactive mystery novels. Once the first wave of reaction died down, the second wave got even more dramatic. People started zooming into photos of Junior, looking for anything that could validate their theories. If he blinked slow, they called it a symptom. If he lifted an eyebrow, someone screamed developmental sign. If he made a funny baby face, suddenly it became proof that tied right back to Karlissa's allegation. It was unhinged. It was obsessive. It was viral. And that combination is social media's favorite poison. Nobody stopped to ask whether the baby was perfectly fine. Nobody asked if Karlissa was venting based on tension, frustration, or generational personality clashes. The digital audience simply decided that the mystery was bigger than reality, and ran with it like paparazzi hearing sirens. Meanwhile, the community watched Blueface's reaction like it was a plot twist waiting in his facial expressions. Did he address it? Did he defend Chrisean? Did he act unbothered? Every passing glance between him and his mother, every moment he avoided eye contact with questions online, became fuel. Silence isn't neutral in celebrity culture. Silence is gasoline. And Blueface staying publicly quiet only made the conversation louder. If it wasn't true, he'd deny it. Some fans insisted. He's avoiding the topic because it's messy, others argued. Again, speculation doing all the heavy lifting. Karlissa's tone only made it worse. She didn't scream it. She didn't rant. She didn't lecture. She said it casually, sarcastically, like the kind of bomb someone drops while stirring a pot and sipping tea. And the less emotional she sounded, the more people believed there had to be something buried in her insinuation. Calm accusations hit harder than chaotic ones. They sound less reactive, more knowing. Then there were the image edits, people adding blurry conspiracy fonts over pictures, treating Karlissa like a whistleblower in a reality show crime thriller. The story became untouchable entertainment. Viewers wanted drama, and the allegation provided it in spoon-fed intensity. Hidden habits condition. She's hinting at something dark, and nobody could even pinpoint what the something actually was. And that's when the real storm began, the moral debate. Half the internet questioned whether a mother-in-law should ever speak on a child's health publicly, even in hypothetical tones. The other half said Chrisean's messy online history opened the door for speculation whether she liked it or not. And standing right between those two armies, like a woman knowingly holding a lit match, was Karlissa. Her history of being outspoken only intensified the heat. She's not the soft-spoken, behind-the-scenes type. She's the type who says the quiet part loud, then laughs while the internet melts down trying to decode what she meant. So when this allegation surfaced, no one dismissed it as harmless chatter. They treated it like a warning bell, sharp, shady, bold, and intentionally spicy. It didn't matter whether Karlissa had any professional insight. It didn't matter whether she was fueled by motherly concern, tension with Chrisean, or old emotional wounds. The second her implication crossed a microphone, the story gained legs. Internet legs. Mass speculation legs. And once rumors become entertainment, they stop needing proof altogether. Deep down, maybe the truth wasn't the point. Maybe the fire wasn't about a baby's health at all. but the unspoken war between two women who never quite fit into the same house of loyalty. Maybe the allegation wasn't meant to be a declaration, but a jab. A sarcastic jab dressed up like a confession. Because when Karlissa leans back, smirks, and says there might be a deeper reason behind JR's quirks, she knows exactly what digital culture will do. Investigate every pixel until they convince themselves they solved a mystery that never needed solving. And by the end of that first eruption, one thing was certain. Whether Karlissa meant it as shade, concern, mockery, or coded warning, her allegation didn't just spark conversation. It hijacked the entire narrative and made the internet treat speculation like a crime scene. She didn't accuse. She implied. And implication, in the world of online obsession, is more explosive than truth. As the dust from the first wave of speculation started settling, a second, louder storm rose like it had been waiting backstage. Allegations don't stay small on the internet, they mutate, inflate, and sprout wings. And Karlissa's insinuation about Junior and Chrisean's hidden lifestyle didn't just ignite gossip blogs. It detonated them. Memes flew. Creators made breakdown videos. Live streams turned into open court. And suddenly everyone with a ring light and an opinion transformed into a self-appointed genetic analyst. Within hours, TikTok detectives resurfaced old clips of Chrisean living her raw, unfiltered life, partying, shouting, laughing too loud, being messy on camera, arguing at midnight, and posting with zero PR filter. None of it medically relevant, but that didn't stop anyone from stitching those videos into a digital conspiracy board. Commenters began connecting dots that weren't even in the same galaxy. This is probably what Karlissa was referencing. She said hidden. So clearly it wasn't obvious. Look at this clip. She was stressed. That's where everything started. It no longer mattered what Karlissa said word for word. The public inflated her suggestion into a full-blown expose. Reaction pages lit up like wildfire. One Instagram gossip account captioned a repost of the clip with, "Is Karlissa calling out the cause?" Another went full sensational tabloid mode. Allegations drop Blueface's mom hints at JR's health being linked to Chrisean's choices. Even the calm accounts joined in with "We don't know what's true, but this is wild." That sentence alone is the fuel that powers internet chaos. We don't know what's true, but... Then came the celebrities who never miss a chance to climb into drama that doesn't involve them. A Zeus Network alum tweeted, "People act shocked when moms speak up. Sometimes they've seen things y'all haven't. No names mentioned. But everyone knew exactly what it referenced." Another influencer dropped a shady repost of a baby horoscope saying, "The child absorbs the mother's aura." Suddenly, astrology got dragged in like it had a degree in medical science. Internet logic is undefeated. Podcasters began recording emergency episodes, framing Karlissa as the unfiltered truth teller, while others painted her as a saboteur disguised as a mother. Even Chrisean's fans got rowdy, insisting Karlissa was weaponizing ambiguity for clout. If she's so sure, why not just say it? One commenter said. Another replied, "She doesn't need to. We heard enough, and that was the entire problem." Nobody had heard anything solid, just vague insinuation floating on sarcasm. At the center of this digital hurricane sat Junior, a baby with no idea the internet was debating his every facial expression. Supercut TikTok edits looped moments of him yawning, stretching, blinking, making baby noises, all being studied like ancient hieroglyphics. Look how slow he turns his head. Babies don't move like that, do they? He looks to calm, something's off. It got ridiculous fast. The commentary was less medical and more sci-fi, but the people posting it weren't joking. They were convinced they were decoding truth, the wildest part. Most of the evidence wasn't anything Karlissa ever actually said. It was screenshots, rumors, alleged quotes from live streams that may or may not have been edited. A sarcastic smirk became a confession. A raised eyebrow became a diagnosis. A side comment turned into a headline. Audiences love taking crumbs and calling them blueprints. Gossip, once unleashed, lives on imagination. not facts. To make things messier, fun pages dug up every past disagreement Karlissa ever had with Chrisean and stitched them together into a timeline that looked like a 3-season Netflix doc. She's been hinting at this since last year. Remember that one interview? She said she was worried. One detective-style thread wrote, "This wasn't a random comment. It was the final confirmation. None of it proven. All of it treated like gospel. Blueface's name got dragged into it next." Commenters demanded to know why he wasn't shutting the rumors down, why he hadn't posted denial, why he hadn't laughed it off. Surely silence meant truth. If he wasn't scared of the rumor, he'd say something. He's acting like someone who knows more than he's allowed to say. Silence, again, became the villain. When clips emerged of Blueface looking tense on camera, not even related to the allegation, fans yanked them into the narrative like puzzle pieces snapping into place. That was now proof that the rumor didn't fall from the sky. One viral post wrote, "His face says everything Karlissa refuses to say directly. People don't need evidence when they have confidence and creativity." And then came the memes, the kind that crawl through the algorithm at the speed of scandal. Chrisean edited into detective boards. Jaya's face next to history's most infamous conspiracies. Karlissa laughing with emoji filters like she'd intentionally dropped a social grenade just to watch people scramble. Memes are the modern smoke signal. When memes hit, it means gossip has crossed over into pop culture currency. Some users took it even further, turning the discussion into moral warfare. Why is everyone acting like babies can't have quirks? He's fine. Stop diagnosing children based on TikTok theories. Karlissa needs to chill. This is messy. Others fired back with equal intensity. A mother knows. Maybe she sees things we don't. People don't risk backlash unless there's smoke. And within days, Karlissa's allegation was no longer a side comment. It was a courtroom debate no one could escape. Even the biggest gossip reactors online, the ones who live for drama, couldn't resist. Reaction channels used red arrows, dramatic music, and overblown captions like, "What is she hinting at?" YouTube thumbnails exaggerated Karlissa's expression like she was holding state secrets. TikTok storytellers narrated her implication as if she'd broken into a classified database and extracted forbidden files. And of course, Chrisean's silence kept the conspiracy oxygen burning. She didn't clap back. She didn't deny anything. She didn't even drop a cryptic lyric. And silence, when paired with hot rumors, multiplies curiosity. Commenters spun that lack of response into 1,000 narratives. If someone accused me of affecting my child, I wouldn't stay quiet. She must be hiding something. She's ignoring it because responding would validate it. All guesses, all speculation, all loud. The twist came when some fans started accusing Karlissa of planting the narrative on purpose. She knows how this works. She didn't need to be specific. People will do it for her. Others claim she wanted the spotlight back, using an innocent child as the spark. The internet never agrees on anything, except that drama must be fed at all costs. And this drama, dressed as an alleged concern, was a buffet. And yet, beneath all the memes, theories, live stream breakdowns, subliminal reactions, and celebrity subtweets, one eerie truth hung in the air like fog. Nobody actually knew what Karlissa meant. Not clearly, not definitively, not at all. They just heard the insinuation and rewrote it into 100 different realities. That's the power of implication. It forces the audience to finish the story on their own. For some viewers, Karlissa became a fearless truth teller. For others, she became a villain stirring tension. For many, she became the internet's favorite new mystery. But regardless of which side anyone landed on, her single vague jab created more noise than any fully detailed statement could have. Because the chaos wasn't born from facts. It was born from the delicious possibility that something hidden might exist, and people will always chase mystery harder than truth. And by the time the second wave of outrage reached maximum volume, Karlissa didn't even need to say another word. The speculation was fully self-fueled. The wildfire was burning without her breath. Her implication had already done what allegations do best in the digital age: turn suggestion into storyline, turn silence into proof, turn rumor into reality, not because it's confirmed, but because it won the internet's imagination. Once the noise hit peak chaos, the aftermath settled in like thick smoke that refused to clear. The homecoming event had ended, the initial shockwaves had run their course, and yet the internet was nowhere close to moving on. Allegations with no confirmed base always outlive verified stories, because mystery ages like gold while facts expire like milk. And Karlissa's insinuation about Junior, wrapped in sarcasm and vague commentary, clung to the culture like a stain nobody could scrub away. The first ripple came in the form of new questions about image. Chrisean, who had lived a public life full of fiery choices, unfiltered honesty, and unapologetic chaos, suddenly found every old clip reevaluated under a microscope. Episodes that once got laughed at now got replayed with analytical captions like, "Is this what she meant?" Commentators who once shrugged at her parting suddenly presented those videos as alleged puzzle pieces to Karlissa's insinuation. Meanwhile, fans defending Chrisean countered with equal force, reminding people that no one had presented a single verified fact. But on the internet, accusations don't need facts. They just need friction. The second ripple hit Karlissa herself. Audiences started reshaping their opinion of her from polarizing to prophetic. From internet firestarter to the woman who said what. Everyone else was afraid to say. Some praised her for being bold enough to address the elephant in the room, even though no one could clearly define the elephant. Others clapped back harder, calling her reckless, messy, desperate for attention, or simply stirring rumor soup in a pot that didn't belong to her. The split was loud, and the louder it got, the more viral the story became. Eventually, the spotlight boomeranged back to Blueface. People wanted to know whose side he leaned toward. Was he quietly supporting his mother's suspicion? Was he privately furious? Did he and Chrisean have conversations offline that the world would never hear? Every glance he gave on live streams, every smirk, every sigh, every stream of silence became a magnifying glass moment. A rapper who built his brand on chaos found himself trapped in a storyline that didn't need lyrics or fights, just raised eyebrows and unresolved tension. The aftermath grew stranger when insiders, bloggers, and people close to the situation started chiming in anonymously. They didn't confirm anything, they just fanned the flames. Words like concerning, observations, mother's instinct, and something was noticed early floated around like fog. No detail, no clarity, just enough implication to make the audience continue spinning theories while never reaching resolution. Social media thrives on unsolved mysteries, and this situation became one of them. As days rolled into weeks, the allegation refused to die. New rumors sprouted from places that had no direct connection to the original insinuation. Clips of Junior laughing, blinking, sleeping, stretching, all normal baby behavior, were captioned like documentary analysis. Pause at the 08 mark. Y'all see it now. This explains everything. It got so unhinged that even neutral observers started warning. Maybe y'all are doing too much. But warnings don't stop digital wildfire. They feed it. Meanwhile, Karlissa's silence became a genre of controversy on its own. She didn't walk back her implication. She didn't repeat it. She simply let the world debate itself into exhaustion, and that silence became the perfect foil. Because when someone refuses to confirm or deny, the audience builds the conclusion on their behalf. It's the ancient art of saying very little while letting the world hear 1,000 interpretations. Chrisean's silence didn't help either. She didn't respond, didn't clap back, didn't drop subliminals, and that only made the public more convinced that something deeper was happening behind closed doors. Silence is louder than denial, commenters repeated. Whether meant seriously or mockingly, it fed the narrative. Fans insist that if someone is falsely accused of anything involving their child, the reaction would be immediate and explosive. But absence of reaction became the internet's favorite proof of guilt template. Even though silence is just silence, the world weaponized it into meaning. As the weeks passed, the conversation shifted from "is this true?" to "what if it was?" And that shift is the dangerous part of rumor culture. Once the what if becomes more interesting than the truth, the speculation becomes the reality people cling to. Threads debating the allegation began evolving into debates about motherhood, responsibility, lifestyle choices, and generational conflict. Suddenly, the conversation was less about Junior and more about the optics of parenting under a public microscope. And hovering above it all was that eerie, unspoken tension. If Karlissa hinted once, would she hint again? People waited, anticipated, monitored every live stream, every interview, every Instagram caption, waiting for the next sarcastic drop, but she never gave one. And that's what made people even hungrier. Rumors are addictive when unfinished. Audiences hate closure. They want continuation. They want chaos to keep spilling, piece by piece, like episodes of a show that refuses to end. Eventually, the allegation became more. Something everyone had heard about, something no one could factually confirm, but something almost everyone had an opinion on. The narrative evolved from accusation to cultural conversation, where people projected their biases, theories, emotions, and fandom alliances onto the story. Chrisean supporters defended her fiercely and accused Karlissa of weaponizing motherhood rhetoric. Karlissa supporters applauded her bravery and said silence sometimes hides uncomfortable truths. And through all that, baby Junior remained just that, a baby, caught in a whirlwind of adult tension, public speculation, emotional baggage, and projected drama. The public forgot that infants grow, change, evolve. They stuck to screenshots and frozen moments, treating them like legible blueprints to decode. Confirmation bias disguised as concern. But here's the ironic twist. The aftermath didn't destroy anyone. It transformed them. Karlissa became a mythic figure, part villain, part whistleblower, part mother warrior holding unspoken knowledge. Chrisean became the mysterious character on the other end, unpredictable, divisive, fiery, and now surrounded by whispers that painted her either misunderstood or guilty, depending on who was watching. And Blueface, he became the reluctant referee between two women who defined his public narrative. He didn't have to speak. His silence was interpreted 100 different ways, each one claimed as the real meaning. Internet culture extracts meaning from blank space like an archaeologist searching ruins. When the dust finally thinned, one chilling realization lingered. Karlissa didn't actually say anything concrete. She didn't diagnose. She didn't reveal facts. She didn't name a habit directly. She just implied that something might link to something else. And that tiny, floating suggestion bloomed into a cultural storm because the world hates ambiguity, but also worships it when drama is attached. The final blow came from the audience itself, most of whom eventually admitted this wasn't about truth. It was about the thrill of decoding, the scandal of speculation, the entertainment of what if, because mystery will always outrun clarity. Shadows are more fascinating than sunlight. And whether or not Karlissa ever meant her comment as genuine concern, emotional jab, or sarcastic dig, her words became a mirror held up to the internet, a reminder that people would rather debate fiction than face the boredom of confirmed reality. By the end of it all, everyone walked away with a story that didn't technically exist, but still felt too real to let go, because the allegation didn't need proof to leave a mark. It only needed imagination, tension, and the internet's addiction to drama. And with that, the rumor lived on, not as truth, but as legacy. A legacy of insinuation that didn't die, it transformed. And now that we've surfed through this entire digital earthquake, the rumors, the silence, the eyebrow raises, and the internet detectives who swear they solved a case that never had evidence, I need you to jump in. Because this story doesn't end with a calm conclusion. It ends with the audience deciding what they believe. So hit the comments and unload every theory you've got. Was Karlissa firing off a sarcastic jab that spiraled out of control? Was she hinting at something deeper that only family members see? Or was this just the latest example of the internet turning vague shade into a conspiracy buffet? Sound off. Be dramatic, argue, agree, decode, or completely roast the situation, because the comments section is where legends are born. And while you're down there, smash that like button like it owes you rent money. Stomp the subscribe button with the same force those memes used to break the internet, and ring the notification bell like you're warning TMZ of a fresh leak. Around here, rumors don't walk. They sprint, allegations don't whisper. They scream, and scandals don't fade. They reload on schedule. This channel lives on the chaos. The mystery, the allegedly, the screenshots, the side eyes, the viral theories that don't even need proof to trend. So gear up, stay ready, and keep those alerts on. Because if this saga taught us anything, it's that the next internet explosion is always one comment, one eyebrow raise, or one sarcastic jab away. The madness never ends, the tea never cools, and the truth. That's just seasoning for the rumors to welcome to the circus. Welcome to the obsession. Welcome to celeb insanity.